Oh, hello, hello, hello. Hello. Oh, let's see here. We've got that. Hello, 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 Starbuck. You are the first into the room. And hang on, I'm popping out my chat so I can put it on the other side. Oh, there we go. And I don't want that up. Let's see here. And I want to close that and open this. I don't want to close that. Uh-oh, how do I make it bigger? Hang on, I'm working it out. Oh, wait, there we go. Okay, that's what I want. Maybe I want this on, whoops. I want this on this side. Oh, heck. I've made myself too small. Hang on, I'm trying to figure it out. There we go. Okay, that's what I want. I want this to be big and that to be small, or something like that. There we go. Now I should be able to bring this up and move it over to the other side. Move that over there. Extend, I got to talk myself through these things. Extend that down. Pull this down. I'm still learning this new computer system that I got. And thank you all for being so kind and patient with me while I do it. Hi, everybody. I'm here. You just sat down and there I am. Yes, Deb, I'm here. Hello, Starbuck. Hello, Deb. Hello, Louise. It is lovely to see you guys. And it is Sunday. Yay. And here I am. And I do have lots of things to show you today. Let me straighten around the camera so that it's there. Pull it a little bit forward. And how is everybody? Hi, Libby. Can everybody hear me? And am I coming through? And as you can see, I have not made it very far on this. I need to stop shaking the desk. Sorry. Enjoying cooler temps. Me too. And okay, good. You can hear. All right, that is wonderful to know. Like I say, I'm still trying to work out all the details. So, did coloring celebration video that I posted this week? It's only 3 minutes long, but I managed to squeeze a lot into that 3 minutes. If I'd have tried to do all of those pictures individually, it would have run quite a bit longer. And plus, I love to be able to feature everybody's art individually, especially if there are multiple posters in the group. And before we get started, I do want to, let me see if I can bring this back up. There are things about this new Windows 10 that I love, and other things that I am not super thrilled about, but I do like the file structure now. So I want to copy that. Now I want to close that, and bring this in. And so I'll throw one of these in right here at the beginning. What that is a 25% off in the Etsy shop. That is good on anything, all the books, whatever. So if you decide that you want to get this picture to color along, you certainly can. And you can get it for 75 cents instead of the $1.50. Although I think that it may have a 2 drawing minimum on it, that 25. I'm not sure. So this is what we were working on last Sunday. And as you can see, I have not gotten very far with it at all. But I wanted to talk about some Happy Mail that I've also got. Hi, Joe Beth. And hi, Sean. How are you? And greetings. And oh my goodness. And hi, Sue. And wow, that is just so lovely to see everybody. Let's talk about this. This is the Happy Mail. And I want to talk about this because now I did film a separate Happy Mail, but I did not get a chance to post it. So I wanted to show you. Remember back earlier this summer when Morticia Bakken, who is a dear friend and coloring community member, had sent me a selection of the Daniel Smith watercolors. And basically these were from her own tubes of paint, and she put them together in half pans and sent them to me. And then I packaged them in here with some that I had made with my Pearl X powders. And so they're all together in this one tin. And then she had sent, let's see which one. Okay. She had sent those in this tin and stuck them all in there. And so I've repurposed this to some more colors of the shimmer watercolor paints that I made. And then she sent another package. And so these were the original swatches of all the watercolors that are in this one. Well, on my porch this week was a new Happy Mail from her. And in it is, I wanted to show you guys what all is in it. And so we will just do that. And she sent this lovely little note that said hello and happy Christmas, which I just love. It made me laugh. And there are some seriously cool things. Now, I have to disclose that I have already looked through and I know what all of this is. And of course, in the first video, I actually pet the paint, but we'll get there. But what she sent was a selection of things that she thought that I could use. And hello, Jill B. And so among them are these really cool watercolor postcards. Obviously, they are the Fabriano brand, and they are really, really cool because they're really stiff watercolor paper, but they're pre-printed on the back with all the places where you put the mail, you stamp, and the address, and you would write your message there. So how cool is that? And there is a whole book full of them. And I just love it. And in addition to that, this is the Artistico Fabriano paper. It's 100% cotton watercolor paper. And there's extra white and traditional white, and there's 2 sheets of each in this sampler. So this is the more yellowish white, and then this is a more ivory white. So how cool is that? And then there is this little treasure. And I'm going to zoom you down so that, whoops, hang on. I've lost my mouse. The mouse is in the house. Okay, is that as far as it's going to, oh, well, yeah. That is as far as it's going to let me go. Okay, well, that's actually pretty close. Okay, so now let me see. So this little coloring book. Now, this is a Swedish version of this book. I never saw it released in an American version. It was printed in 2015, and it is a little tiny coloring book featuring Maria Troll, Christina Holtkrantz, sorry, Emily Leidenhall Oberg, and Maria Lingeld. And they're artists who draw in four, of course, distinctive, different styles. And this is just a little treasure trove of a book. It features images from Blomster Mandela, from Kiss and Tell, from Sagalect, and from Min Mandala by Maria Lingeld. And the pictures, excuse me, the adaptations of these pictures are just adorable. And they've been completely adapted to this size. And, you know, so how cute is that? Hello, Susan Wilkes. Oh, lovely to see you. Hello, Caroline, Nika. Happy Sunday to you as well. And hello, anybody who's come in that I have missed. And so it's got images from each of these books printed in this wonderful size. This is one of my favorite ones. Hang on. Oh, that's better. That one is actually hot. The other one is bordering on cold. And so these are the Maria Trolls, all adapted to this tiny size. Makes me want to go out and buy fine tip markers. Or, you know, and one of the things that's so cool is they're all single-sided. And then this is The Kiss and Tell by Christina Holtkrantz. And this is actually cool. This is like, they're all partial figures. So you get hair and a book, or actually it looks like a purse. And, you know, this girl wearing this beautiful jacket is holding on to this. There's her hand and our selection of sunglasses and her makeup bag with her eyelashes and keys and purse with all the lipsticks and nail polishes and hand cream and all of that. A button-down shirt. I think that is so cool. And this to-do list. Now, I was not able to find this, and she does say that it is both old, I guess, meaning because it's from 2017, and rare. So it's an old, rare Swedish coloring book, is how Morticia described it. And so I'm guessing you cannot get it anymore. But shoes, handbag with the jacket. I love it. All the little details, the ring and the bracelets and all the different things going on in it. Hat. Beautiful hair color. Just like, you know, just like everything, you know, you could want. It's got something for every style in here. And this, of course, is Emily Leidahall Oberg, who did Sangor Ox, you know, the one, Sangor Ox Sagnor, the one that was out of print for a while and was so hard to get. And Oh no, Susan, I was going to say happy birthday to you. Oh, honey, I am so sorry. Oh, um, that's very sad. Honey, I'm sorry. Um, big hug, big, huge hug, gentle hug. And especially not on your birthday. I lost a puppy on my birthday once. I was just a kid, and you know, it. He's still my favorite dog. Even all these years later. But at any rate, guys, this is just very, very cool. So it's got all of these, pictures from CLAldridges are in there. Even the bear is in there, uh, and the coffee pots, and of course the deer. I just love that deer asleep in the what looks like a suitcase, and all of these adorable, adorable pictures. The mermaid with the uh, oh, who'd you call it? The what do you call those? Seahorse. Thank you. I knew it wouldn't be. And then this one, this one is apparently this lady draws mandalas and she uses things. So this one is owls and foxes, and this one is just medallions. But this one is all kinds of aquatic things like ships' anchors and whales' tails, and of course the north, south, east, west compass. And hi, Joey. Good to see you. Hi, Corolla. Wow. Nice to see everybody. Um, and this is the, well, that one's just design. This one's got chairs. I think that's cool. And this one is bees. And this one is just leaves and looks like oranges. They look like orange leaves. And another one, but just, oh, and electric guitars. I love that. Electric guitars and doves. Interesting combination. Uh, and the letter A, which is perfect. And apparently, this was put out by Printworks. So I think that if you wanted to try and get a copy, that you might be able to get one through Printbooks. I did have a bit of success. I actually wrote to the company that put out Colin. Oh, I don't remember his last name now, but he did the not the Mysterious Library, but it's the one, you know which one I mean. It's got the library cover on it. It's very cool. Okay. All right. Like I said, I have been through this package. So I knew the other things that were in it. This also, which another tin, another one of these licorice pastel tins. So this is cool because I can put watercolors in that. But this one, ooh, look at the star of the show, guys. I'm going to hold that for just a second. This is just the empty half pan because one of the things that was in this is this gorgeous violet watercolor here. That is a Winsor and Newton color, and I swatched it out, and there it is. It's called Paraline Violet, and it's just amazing. It's a beautiful violet color. It's a red violet, and we're going to get to that in just a second. Okay, so that was in the tin. There is a Faber-Castell pencil sharpener, always welcome. There is a brand new kneaded eraser. another thing that is always welcome. And then the star of the show, as far as I'm concerned. That is a full tube of Daniel Smith extra fine watercolor Sugalite Genuine, which is that gorgeous, silvery, amazing watercolor that is just to die for right here. How cool is that? So some of that might make it into the little circle watercolor things that I'm going to be making up. I've ordered some tins, and I put some more half pans and some more gum arabic on my wish list. I ordered the tins, and they're supposed to be here Tuesday, I guess. So that is because I do have a few of these left. So that way I can get started on that particular project. Chat has stopped moving. Is nobody talking, or am I off the air? What is going on? Am I sitting here talking to myself? It is an amazing gift. And Morticia is just so thoughtful. And okay, there is one other thing. Where is it? Hang on. There it is. Okay. I knew that there was something missing. I was over on Sammy's channel when I did when I gave her the thing. And so I had occasion to peruse her gift list or her Amazon wish list. And on it was a product I'd never seen before called Winsor & Newton Iridescent Medium. And it comes in the same kind of bottle as like a masking fluid or their excuse me, their what do you call it? Their Oxgall for watercolor, that kind of thing. And Morticia had heard me on the video, and she wrote in a comment that she had tried it and really liked it. So included in this little package is a sample from her bottle of the Winsor & Newton Iridescent Medium. And this is so cool. It took me a while to figure out how to open this bottle. It's a child-proof one, so you have to push down on it. You should have seen me in the original video. I'm like, how does this work? Wait, you have to shake it up. Okay, there you go. And then you bear down on it, and wait for it. How cool is that? It's like pearlescent. Now, I had put it on a picture, and then, of course, I keep losing the picture. But let's put it right. Let's put it right on top of this. See, so you can imagine that I had actually painted it on there. It would turn that into an iridescent, and you could even actually mix it with your watercolor before you put it on the page, so that it would be really smooth. And you can put it in. You can put it in watercolor. You could put it in acrylic. You could put it in all kinds of different paint mediums, and it mixes with everything. It's great stuff. It's like, oh, do you have it? It's great stuff. It's like ketchup mixed with everything. Okay. Deb has it. Okay, good. And you love it, I'll bet. Yes? Oh, I love that. Okay. So I've got that to try out. But this is just so cool, because this is excuse me, I am having a heck of a time. Humidity is way up today, so, and all the windows are open. But this is just a gorgeous color. Just a gorgeous, gorgeous color. Okay. So that is what was in that Happy Mail package. And it's just such a thoughtful gift. The watercolor paper, the postcards, all of that is just amazing. And so is this book. It's all amazing. It's just all amazing. You guys are just amazing people, is what you are. So I've got all of this together so that I can adding it to my stack of thank you to-dos, which has sort of gotten out of hand. I want these under those. And that under there. So, and then of course I love that it all came in one of those page protectors, because you can never have enough page protectors. So I won't be doing anything with that today, but I'm really glad that I got to show it to you. Yeah, Morticia did good. She is just such a sweetheart. She and I regularly solve problems of the world in these really kind of long Instagram chats, and we talk about books and things like that. Books, American books, podcasts. She is actually reading House of Leaves with me, and or she just got her copy of House of Leaves, and so we're gonna read it together. I'm about 100 pages in, so I'm gonna let her catch up. It even mixes with acrylic inks. Just take a bit. Okay, that is so good. I'm so glad to hear that. Okay, now zoom you back down here to actually talk about what I did on this. Also, I wanted to point out that in my description today, beside the link to this particular picture, there is also a new, it's not a new channel, but there is a channel shout out for something called You're Drawing a New Design. Oh, that's great, Sean. And I can hardly wait to see it. For those who don't know, Sean, Color with Sean, also has a channel, and he comes on right after me today at the 4 o'clock mark here in the U.S., East Coast U.S., which is, I believe, he comes on at 9 o'clock UK time. And but he's also an artist who has begun to sell his drawings. So you can check out his channel, and I believe he's got an Etsy shop. And so that's great news. I wish I could say that I had a new design to release today. I don't. It may be early next week, but I am working on one. Does that count? I have had kind of an eventful few days, guys. You've heard me talk about my dearest and longest friend in the whole world. Well, she is having a bit of a health struggle right now. In addition to fighting off adult onset leukemia, which she's being treated for, she's back in the hospital now with an infection that they have not been able to get to behave itself. And so she's looking at having surgery, and it's just, it's just not a really good situation. So it's good for me to be here because it keeps my mind occupied on it, or off of it. But yeah, I can't really talk about it very much because if I do, I'm going to cry. And I'm not going to do that. So let's talk about this. So I have, I'd be hard pressed to tell you what pencil I didn't use, as opposed to which pencils I did use on these, but I'm going to try. I'm going to give it a mighty try. So for the reds, I got out, or actually these beautiful orange flowers. I think they're beautiful. Is that it? Is that all, Christine? Only those 5 colors? Thank you, Sue. Yeah, no, it's my dear friend Carol who needs that hug, believe me. And she's scared, and and I don't blame her because it's a scary situation, and the surgery is one of those sort of life-altering kind of things that you have to have done that affects the rest of your life. So it's like, and I'm 2,500 miles away. I can't even give her a hug. So all I can really do is be there on the end of the phone for her, and let her rail, because she's pretty mad at the universe right now, and I don't blame her. She just retired. I mean, she just retired, and and then to get sick like this is just not fair. So this is the Tuscan red, and I'm just using it to kind of darken up just the actual outer edges of this. And I'll calm down here in a second, guys. It's just really hard. We've been best friends for 40 something years, 45 years this year, actually. Working on 46 now. Because I met her at the beginning of the school year when we were both 15. Oh, and we were troublemakers. Oh my goodness. Hello, Nana Mo. Yeah, I know it is. I know it is, Deb. It is a help. And it helps me too, because I can sort of judge how she's feeling by how she sounds, which is I felt a lot better today. She's having they were when I talked to her at noontime, they were giving her this stuff that she has to drink so that she radiates the CAT scan, because they're doing a CAT scan today. So, and really, I'm just switching back and forth between the poppy red, the Tuscan red, the poppy red, the pale vermilion, and this occasionally, throwing in a little bit of this crimson red, and just layering the colors and building them in. And every once in a while, I'll just go over it with the eggshell to just maintain that sort of center glow. Oh boy. Hang on a second. I'm going to mute it while I blow my nose. I'll be right back. Oh, that's better. That's better. And hello, Pat. Nice to see you. And to anybody else who has snuck in the door. uh, yeah, it's just like, she got handed, well, on top of everything else, right? On top of everything else, her 88-year-old mom comes to visit, drives up, and she lives a few hours away with her sister, and gets there, and they discover that basically, her mom's car is pretty much unsafe. She's on old tires and all of that. So they debate, she and her husband debate back and forth as to what to do. And ultimately, they end up, because it's a better investment for them to fix the car that she has than to, because, for what it would cost to fix the car that she had, they wouldn't have been able to replace it. So they did. They spent about $3,000 and they put all new tires on it, and they did other things that it desperately needed. And within a week, her mother had totaled it. And so now, of course, her mom has no car, and she lives several hours away. So they've got her staying with them. And, she's 88 and requires not care of her own, but, looking after. And so, and then this happens on top of everything else. So it's like, I told her, I said, if I could get on a plane tomorrow, I'd be there. But then I'd be stuck there, and I can't do that. So, it is hard being far away. That's the thing. And I'm not good. I mean, she'd be the first person to tell you that I am not good around sick people. And so she would actually never look to me to take care of her. She and I know this about each other. She is a nurturer. I am not. You know, I'm not. I'm not one, and I never have been. But I would be there for her. Because that's what friends do. But nonetheless, okay. So then down here in these little deep corners, see how dark it got, and that is really intentional. I really just kept layering and layering and layering and layering. I used this dark, this is the black, but I also used this, not that one. There it is. Nope, that's the dioxazine purple. Where is the gray? There it is. It's the 70% warm gray. I used the 70% warm gray along the edges of the leaves, the upper leaves, and then I used the full black in the pockets under the leaves to just sort of add that little bit extra of, whoops, I'm caught on something up here. There we go. That little bit extra of contrast. And yeah, so anyway. And so, your first instinct with stuff like that is to go ahead and be the cheerleader, that everything is going to be all right, cheerleader. And I'll tell you what, that was the wrong thing to say. What she needed from me at that particular moment was for me to be as mad at the universe as she was. And of course, I am. I am that mad at the universe But you don't, when that's not what you show to people. You're supposed to show people encouragement and, it'll be all right. And, oh, it's not as scary as you think it is. And, and you'll get through it and all of that. That's your instinct. But when your friend tells you, no, I need you to be mad, it's like, okay, I can manage that. I can manage that. I can manage being mad out loud. It's like, if you ask me to be your worst enemy, I'm not going to ask questions. I am going to just ask you how deep. Because you're my friend. I wouldn't do that for every friend, but I would for her. Yeah, yes, exactly, Deb. And that's the kind of strength that she's always had. She's always had defiant strength. It's like, okay, fine. You tell me I'm going to die. I'm not going to die. I'm going to prove you wrong. It's that kind of thing. And she has. That's just it. She absolutely has. And she has survived things that would take down stronger people. Believe me. Yeah, that one was too much. Okay. See if I can roll that out a little. I got a little bit in a hurry on that one. It's not quite as smooth as I wanted. And if that happens, you just erase it out. Try again. That's better. So I debated whether or not I should be here today, and then I decided, you know what? No, there's absolutely nothing I can do from where I sit except keep life as normal as possible and pray, and which is not something I am given to do on a regular basis, but whatever power there is that's out there, I will call on it to help my friend. And hope that she remains strong through all of it. And that's all I can do. That's all any of us you can do. Yeah, I think she does. She knows that I always have been. We've always had sort of this weird radar thing, when one of us is in trouble, because we're the type of friends. We haven't physically laid eyes on each other in over 20 years. Because other than on video, because we haven't really needed to. It's like we when we were kids or younger, we discovered kind of early on that we don't live well under the same roof, so we couldn't be roommates or something like that. Mostly because we kept trying to steal each other's guys. It became this sort of contest. That a guy, keep in mind that the guy, it didn't matter about the guy. The guys were just guys, It was more like this unspoken contest. And if it had ever become something serious, that was something other than just sort of lighthearted, let's see who can steal each other's guy, it would certainly have been different. If it had been somebody that she was serious about, I wouldn't have gone near him, not on a bet. I would not have gone near him. But when you're young, you play stupid games. And it's like, oh, who's the cutest guy in town? Okay, which one of us is going to go after him? And then it would just be a contest. Okay, I'm happier with that. Yeah, we caused some real trouble. I can tell you that. Uh, couple of guys came to blows. All right, I'm loving it. Back in the days when you could walk through a room, I miss those days when I could actually walk through a room and turn heads. Can't do it anymore. Now everybody just stares straight ahead. It's terrible. Uh, oh, Nanimo and I would be trouble out. Oh my goodness. Oh yes, absolutely. But well, yeah, but Nanimo, it wasn't as if I didn't have her permission. Like I said, if it had ever been a case where it was somebody that either one of us was serious about, that would have been an entirely different story, but it wasn't. I struggled really hard on what to do with these yellow flowers. I wanted to keep them yellow. I didn't want them to, look like these. So, with the same yellows, because they are different yellows. But I sort of ended up going in that direction anyway. So I'm trying hard to darken this one up by making it more brown. And so that is what I'm doing here, and just leaving little bits. So I want it to be more golden. And this is the burnt ochre. And of course, I'm never as good with these on camera as I can be when it's just you and the coloring, and you can sit there and go over the same spot, 14 times with just the super light. But that just doesn't work on camera. So I apologize. They're looking a little more ragged. But and thanks everybody for letting me sort of lean on you and talk about all of that. It's like, ay, you know. And it's not even, geez, I just thank goodness every day that my health is good, and that, that I don't have to deal with all of that kind of stuff. I mean, I can't really because, I live alone. You can't, you know, some stuff happens. There isn't anybody to talk to really, except all of you. Uh, well, and of course her, but at this point in time, she's got plenty on her own plate. And then, of course, I discovered that a couple of other friends who I don't know have been in and out of the hospital that are home now, hopefully. So I guess, it really just goes to show that when somebody disappears from social media, check on them. Check on them to make sure that they are okay. Because I didn't know. I sort of took for granted that somebody was always around. And then when I went to check, and I realized that I hadn't seen her in a couple weeks. So, yeah, facing down in their phones, exactly. I was thinking that the other day, Sean, as I was walking to the grocery store, and everybody who came out of the store, I mean, it's like they had a grocery bag in one hand and their phone, and they were looking down at it in the other. I'm like, People, there's much more to life than what's inside that phone. And they were texting, with their thumb, which I can't do anyway. I can't text with my thumb. It's like talk about autocorrect on steroids. I have to type with one finger, and I use like this. And yet I see my nephews can do it. I'll tell you what, both of them, they can just do this and type away. And my thumbs are too big. How are they able to do it? I guess it's practice, all that practice. She was walking and looking at her phone and never, yeah, exactly. And then they never apologize. They never, it's like you don't exist. If you're not inside the phone on the screen, you don't exist. And, this is how people get attacked and robbed, is they're not paying any attention to what's going on there, in their real lives. So I guess maybe that's one of the reasons why I've never been scared to walk at night, is because I have my head up, I'm looking around, I can tell you every little sound. Nobody is sneaking up on me from behind or from the side, because I've got my head turned and I'm checking to make sure that there's nobody going to be doing that. Just adding some texture there. All right, so that I think that's pretty good. That makes them much golder than these. In the UK, it's illegal now to use your phone while your engine is on or while driving. Well, I think that is a really good idea. It is illegal to text in most of the states here as well. But I can tell you that the vast majority of people just sort of ignore that rule and just do with it what they want. And all right, this is the yellow ochre. And I think that's a real shame. I really do, because I do think that that it not only I'm going to try the goldenrod for this, and all I'm really doing on this is just sort of outlining the I just want to add a little bit, and I tried grays, but I didn't like the way they looked. Even the warm grays, I didn't like the way they looked. Or the French grays. So I finally just decided to go with goldenrod. I was looking for a way to pop the yellow. I guess I should pay attention. In the Netherlands too, yeah. Oh, even texting on your bike. That's good. I mean, it's good that it is. Are people doing it though? I mean, are people paying attention to the prohibition, or are they just doing what they want to? A half hour of phone time after you got homework done. Yeah, when I was a kid, that was about right. Of course, then, well, because my mother's phone was, I call it my mother's phone, but the house phone was her business phone, actually. So she did get me my own line. But yes, I did have a prohibition, especially long distance. If I wanted to call long distance, anybody could only be like a 10-minute call. As she used to say, I'm not made of money. She used to say that all the time. When you start paying your own bills, then you can do whatever you want. But until then, 10-minute calls. Long distance was, well, it still is expensive if you have to pay for it. But most of us don't have to pay for it. Oh, you'd be surprised, Sue. I could actually hands. Winds me, yeah. It winds me up too. And as a matter of fact, that's the only time that I've ever actually had words with my nephew, because he texts and drives oftentimes with the kids on the car, and that, that sort of that has done it for me. And then, of course, his wife is sitting next to him, videoing the whole thing and putting it up on social media. Or not on social media, but at least on our, the sort of the where they post their photos for the family of the kids. Excuse me. Didn't mean to swallow at you. Okay. All right. So there's that. Now for the purples. The purples are so easy to overdo. And this, oh, that's what I was going to do. That's it. This is the Spanish orange. Oh, no, 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 no. You're not allowed to be broken. No, 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 no. Now I have to baby this Prismacolor because look, it's broken. Arrgh. I love my Prismas, but boy, I'll tell you what, they are so prone to breaking. They're so soft. Oh, for heaven's sakes. Got tons of notifications popping up. Son-in-law learned not to, yeah. Mousy, Deb, I do too. It's just so disappointing when they break like that. All right, I didn't need that so much as I needed this. Okay, so the way that I did, I love the way that these are turning out so rich, dark, such a rich, dark purple. So this is the dioxazine purple hue, which is the PC 132. And so I just simply brought it down on the outer edges. I don't remember if I did one of these last week or not. I think I started one, but I don't think I finished it. And it was just easier for me to continue this since we had only just barely, other than getting the first coat of marker down on it, and done any shading at all with the pencils, I don't think. So this is the black grape. Now this is, I was surprised that this is so black or so dark, but it's really perfect for the underlayment. Broken leads mean lost color. This is so true. Hi, Loretta. Well, have a cup of coffee, sweetheart, and wake up and join us. Hello, Shara. It's so lovely to see everyone, and thank you for all the thumbs up, and that means so much to me. And I was watching. Well, actually, there's two things I wanted to talk about. The first one is as I was watching Anne at A Colorful Life today, and she was doing a couple of series. She's started doing shorter videos because she was suffering the same kinds of computer issues that I was having. That it was really really hard on her system to make those longer videos, and part of it I think is the technology and basically the overuse of of the older systems that aren't really made for it. And I have yet to see if this new system will process a longer video, but I can tell you that on the two that or the video that I posted, and actually I've done two tests of longer videos, but I haven't posted anything about either one of them. But my laptop computer was rendering video. If you shoot it at 30 frames per second and you do editing, which basically means putting little clips together, adding the introduction that I do, the roll up things that show, my name and the Instagram and all of that. It would process and music on top of it, the themes and stuff like that. It would process that at about 5 frames per second. So a 1 second of video would take 6 seconds to render or to make into a finished packaged video. So a lot of times if it was like an hour and 40-minute video, it would take 8 hours to render and then another hour to upload. And all the time that it was doing, fans and everything else on my computer are running, which is hard on the motherboard because what makes a laptop so convenient is that it's light and there's not a lot of room in the case. And so the last thing in the world, there's a reason why they used to keep computers in refrigerated rooms. It's because they need, those electronics need to be kept cool. So I knew that the desktop was going to be the way to go because there's a lot more room in the case, which means that there's a lot more ability for the fans to keep it cool in there, and it has a much bigger Intel Core processor than my laptop does. So the long and the short of that means that I've gone from rendering at 5 frames per second to rendering at 52 frames per second. Was as slow as it got on the colorist's celebration video, and 48 frames per second was as slow as it got rendering regular video. So that is a lot less than or a lot more than you wanted to know. And sounds like science. It's the motherboard. It's what everything plugs into. All of your electronic components plug into a motherboard. And the motherboard is the brain, the CPU, that runs the whole kit and caboodle. So the this is an Intel quad-core processor. So it's an i5, but it runs at 7,400 RPM. Whatever that means. I know, but but it's I studied for a while before I chose this particular one. I wanted to be sure that it was at least going to do. I mean, if you're going to spend that money, you've got to at least ensure that it's going to do what you need it to do. Okay. And so now I like this burnishing with my finger attitude that I've taken with these because it's quick and it really does make a nice glow. Yes, the processor definitely gets hot. Okay. So how is everybody else doing? What are you coloring? I noticed that everybody is saying hi to each other, but is anybody talking? And hi, Rochelle, and anybody that I've missed, please know that I did miss you. If you do want to ask me questions, please put them in caps. You know the routine on that, right? Okay. So let's do one more of those because I like that. So the dioxazine purple. Which is that lovely dark purple. I love this purple. And I'm trying to leave this, the central highlight in just sort of the shape of the leaf. Oh, wow. I'm going to almost be able to breathe here in just a second. I can tell. And you have 5 whips to prove it. Momo Girl with Poems. Okay. I love Girl with Poems. It's a beautiful pic. It's a beautiful book. Okay. Louise is coloring Clara Markova, Fairy Celebrations, and a color by number. So challenging both sides of your brain. That's good. Because I know that the color by number is probably not as complex as the Clara Markova. Jude is, oh, hi, Jude, is coloring in this grayscale, or Selena Fennick. I always wanted to call her Selena French, but it's Fennick. And so, oh, I love Serene Little Village. It's just so adorable. Halloween stuff. Okay, Nana is coloring in Jasmine Beckett Griffith and Halloween stuff. And oh no, Lewis. Who's Lewis? Who's Lewis? Is there a Lewis? Hi, Ollie. And you're coloring a travel size. I'm fearless Mandalus. No, oh, I'm sorry that you're not feeling well. So if you fall asleep, no, okay. All right, Ollie. Well, I hope that you feel better soon. Sketching and drawing, mostly okay. Well, that's good, Loretta, because we are doing Inktober. Sorry. And, oh, I'm sorry that you were buffering, Corolla. It looks like we're stable here on this end, so hopefully that's okay. The Inktober drawings are awesome. I can hardly wait to check in with Dee Dee and see what this week she's done. Although I should actually go to her Instagram page and look. I have not done so this week. I've been pretty well mentally tied up all week. So, oh, Corolla, we were asking about what everybody is coloring. So that is the only thing I missed. So dioxazine. And black cherry. I think I already did the black cherry. So now I'm going to do the violet. Keeping it away from that center. Add a little bit of the hot pink. And hot pink layers the other colors nicely. And I am sorry that my breathing has gotten so bad again, guys. It's really got to do with the humidity in the air again, and the fact that I'm not drying out the house with the air conditioner. The temp, we're at that weird time of year where it's not hot enough for the air conditioner, but it's not cold enough to close the windows. And if you leave the house closed up all day, it gets stuffy. So Benny Blue is adorable. Pro Color, okay. I have seen those, and I've seen the color softs. But I don't. I think doesn't Karen Dash make the color softs? I don't know. I don't remember who makes the Pro Colors. Horrible gray blotches. Okay. I don't know. Does anybody know the answer to that? For Jude, that she's had some issues putting a base layer of alcohol marker on the Amazon paper grayscale with horrible gray blotches. I wonder, because I know that I think Anne uses alcohol markers. Derwent for both of them, Jude. Okay, good. Thank you. I know Anne uses the alcohol markers in the on the Amazon paper, and I don't think she's had any issues with that. I wonder if could it be the markers, or maybe it's just a bad batch of paper. That's what I do about half the time, Loretta, is I make what I call kitchen pantry soup. And it's basically whatever's in the can. I take like some boneless chicken thighs or something that I get at the grocery store, and then just start throwing in cans of stuff. Can of beans and a can of tomatoes and a can of corn, or if I'm lucky enough to have fresh vegetables, I'll use those or frozen. This one feels a little blotchy to me. Let's see if I can make it feel better. We don't need no stinking blender. And blending pencil on grayscale makes my, oh yes. I agree. Complaining about this, okay. This month's creative CHM paper is different halfway through the magazine. Okay. Creative Heaven magazine. Coloring Heaven magazine. I don't remember. Coloring Heaven. It's Creative Haven and Coloring Heaven. And says keep going and don't stop in the middle of a space. That's true. That is very true, Sue. And yes, you absolutely can. Markers can also pull ink up from the back side. Oh. That is good. All right. That's a really good thing. Jude, is it with the black ink on the back by any chance? Because if it is, that is what the problem is. And why Amazon does not put a stop to that, I do not know. You know, they need to simply stop people from asking to ink those black pages, because that's all that is. That's a page of printer ink on the back side, and that paper just is not thick enough to bear up under it. Beside which it throws, I mean, we all know that ink is the most expensive part of the paper processing, or book printing, is the ink. Well, the most expensive part is the paper, but next comes the ink. And so it's basically a waste of money because it doesn't do anything. There's no benefit to that black. Nathan, who'd you call it? The one that did Handsome Hunk. Nathaniel Waite. His books have the black cover or black ink on the back. And it just drives me crazy because there's just no point in it. This is what I've been doing wrong. I keep forgetting what I'm doing here and how I did the very first one. I'm actually having way too good of a time reading the chat. Many long strokes don't color. Yes. That also is very, very true. And one direction. Long strokes, one direction, don't scrub back and forth. There we go. So, Sean, what are you going to be coloring today? Or are you still here? Yes, you are. What are you featuring on your show? Inquiring minds want to go. You're a serial scrubber, unfortunately. Oh no, Nana. Nay, say it's not so. Hello, Victoria. Lovely to see you. I was watching Vicky at Coloring with Vicky, and that it just reminded Victoria. That's not Victoria. Victoria has her own channel, but Coloring with Vicky. This morning she was doing she did a live where she was using watercolors to make jewel tones, or neocolors, sorry, to make jewels, and in preparation for coloring in her copy of Wuthering Heights. And I'm like, Wuthering Heights has a coloring book? So I went and found a flip through of it, and it was from Coloring in the Dark, which is a channel that, for some reason, she's not posting videos anymore. But the ones that she has posted, I love. Uh, I love her flip throughs, and because they were clear and close up, and they're consistent, and all of that kind of good stuff. So I just really like the way that she used to do her flip throughs of books. I wish she was still doing it. But so I looked at that, and it's a nice looking book. It's like, wow, that was really good. It was about all I could do to not put it on my wish list, but it's $18. And there's no way that, that I'm going to put a coloring book on my coloring book list that costs $18. Sorry. What is the name of that coloring book that what I started to say earlier is that there's a coloring book that it's Colin Thompson. That's his name, Colin Thompson, and I don't remember the name of the book, but it's the one that has the library thing on the cover. It's out of print, and but the printer, apparently you can still order it directly from the printer. Because I wrote to them on their Facebook page, and they said, have you written to so and so at the printer? So $3 at Dollar General. What? Wee Witches. Captain. Who's Captain? I'm so confused. I guess I need to look up. Vicky is good. Yeah, Vicky is good with Neos. Yeah, Wuthering Heights. Wuthering Heights. Withering Heights. I'll tell you what, that Heathcliff. He's both wonderful and he's just a jerk. So, of course, Kathy certainly is not any peach herself. I think I might have to do a little more than that to fix that one. Okay, that'll work. See how that just brings out that sheen? So that I just love that. I just love the way that works. Let's see here. Let me pick there's a nice olive green and what is this? It's an apple green. Yeah, that'll probably work. They don't have to be exactly the same. Make this sort of go around the outer edges with this one. See if I can find a nice chartreuse green. Where is my chartreuse? There it is. You can always tell it's my chartreuse. It's the shortest one because it's my favorite color. Favorite color to highlight greens with. I've always had a bet with myself that this will be the first one into a pencil extender, and it's so far, it's looking like that is going to be the case. Okay, so there is that. Oops, sorry about the arms and all that, everybody. Oh, Melinda, hello. And thank you. And you're not feeling well? Oh, no. It seems to be something going around. Boy, I'll tell you what. There are just a lot of folks that are either sick or in various stages of recovery. I've got 3 people that I know that have been in the hospital in the last week. It's just amazing. I haven't yet decided on the center for this one, so that's why it's still blank. See, it's 3:28, so 3:30. Making lunch. Ooh, yum. That sounds really good, Joe Beth. Can I come? You are in California, I'll bet you that. It's got to be noon there. 12:30. Or Arizona. Actually, if I remember correctly, you're in Arizona, aren't you? And one of my favorite states, at least to I like the Sedona area, which is where I lived for a time, and Cottonwood, which is where my friend lives. Bring a dish. Yes, I think if I was going to go back to Arizona, I'd have to either choose Prescott or I might choose Flag, but I think probably Prescott. Or I could choose Cottonwood or Clarkdale. Either one would do fine. But I know I could not afford to live in Sedona again. As much as I might like to. This is really underdone. I have to finish it. So let me actually finish that. Get myself under here so I can see it properly. Hopefully the camera is not picking up my little face as I stick my head underneath it. You wouldn't want to see that, really, trust me. You've all seen my face. I did a face-to-face video. One. I should probably do another one. I did that one a year ago. And I do, now that I have a laptop, and the desktop, I could actually use the camera. I could have a 3-camera setup because I have my phone and I have my webcam and I have my. Well, I'd be cooking my gas then, wouldn't I? 3. It was months ago. It was 11 months ago. And I remember it. I do remember doing it. I even, it was on a day that I had actually, I don't know, I just sort of psyched myself into it. I normally don't wear my hair down or anything like that. It's usually tucked back in a ponytail or up on top of my head or something like that. I think that only concession I made to that is that because I cannot stand to have my hair in my eyes. And yet on my face, and yet I won't cut it. It's because my father said once that he would come back and haunt me if I ever cut my hair. And I don't know why, but I have always believed that. He said if you cut it or dye it, those are the two things that he would not put up with, because I had the same color hair as my grandmother. And ultimately the same color hair as him. He was a ginger as well. Only I'm actually an auburn red. Okay, there we go. Yeah, well, there is a lot to be said for not doing it, Joe Beth. But on the other hand, otherwise, the reason why I did one is I didn't want to just be a disembodied voice. I just didn't want to. I wanted people to actually have a face to match. It's just that the face that I wear now isn't the face that I see when I look in the mirror. The camera shows a different face. Uh, and when I look in the mirror, I still see myself at 25, and the camera doesn't lie. And so it sees me at 60. Which just, is both pleasing and scary all of this, all at the same time. Uh, all right, I need a yellow and a different yellow, and maybe even a third. Yeah, well, maybe. No, I think these two yellow, and I need a black. So where's the black? Is this the black? Yes. All right, so what are we going to do? We're going to start out with the yellow. Maybe we'll do the B. And I'm trying to remember. I think that these guys are yellow up the center. Because if they're black, they can always be black later. I don't know how big I want this highlight up his back to be, so. I'm going to cry. That is the Spanish orange. That is one of my favorite colors. All right, so let's forget the Spanish orange. Okay, let's not forget it. Let's break out the M&R. And a plate, because this requires 3 different sharpeners to hopefully bring it back from the brink of sad. Okay, so now we are at a point where we've got a little bit of the color showing. So now I will use the Prismacolor sharpener. Part of the problem is this one is out of round. That is what it's not, see, you can tell, see at the bottom how it's closer, and you are always going to have problems sharpening a pencil, doesn't matter who makes it, if it's not perfectly centered. And that is one of the things that makes your pencils hard to sharpen, is this, that they're not perfectly centered. in the wood because your sharpener is perfectly centered. And that's how they end up with weak spots. So you just have to baby those pencils along. And see, even the Prisma won't put a sharp point on this. So that's... are you going, Sue, or is it just that you just think I'm wonderful? Hopefully you're not going, but if you are, then have a great weekend, or what's left of it. Okay. Hopefully you're not going. And I don't know what I've missed, but I'm going. Okay. Oh no. Oh, I see it. Okay. I see it. Okay. I am so sorry. Going to lay on the bed. Maybe you can go to sleep. I do hope that you are able to get some rest and that you get some relief from that pain. Absolutely. And if there is anything you take for it, I certainly hope that it works quickly. That was the other thing. They've got, my friend is on a pretty heavy duty dose of morphine to deal with the pain that is associated with the infection. And so it, of course, messes with your head too. Okay. That at least gives him some yellow there. And then for his little wings, I want to make them sort of, I want them to be iridescent, definitely, but I want to make them, oh, you know what I mean, all right? Beige, that's what I need, beige. What is a good Prisma beige? Tan, is there a tan? Or maybe a, no, maybe. I apologize that I'm being a little unstructured today, guys. People, wait, Ollie, Wednesday, I have to go to my hairdresser. Ollie, if people are judging you based upon gray hairs, then that is their problem, not yours. Call them jerks is what they are. And remind them that, you know, in our mother's time, and perhaps their mothers too, people would pay hairdressers a lot of money to color their hair gray. Or silver, or whatever color. They're perfect, or they're too young and will not make it. Oh. Well, unfortunately, today, see, that happened at the last, you know, sort of corporate office that I worked at. I was the oldest person there, including the company. I mean, was just like, wow. See, now, a perfectly centered point out of that Prismacolor sharpener will sharpen like that. And you can look at the back, and even that doesn't look perfectly centered. So you can, I'll bet you that somewhere around in here, that thing goes crooked. When you get, I figured out that that is what is going on with those pencils. is that you get to a point where it's not actually straight in the barrel, because that's liquid that they're pouring into the barrel and then they let it harden. So I'm laying down a base coat, a light base coat of gray. And then I'm going to put some blue. Just sort of splotching it around. Just broke that little tiny tip off. The only thing about it is with a long, narrow tip like this, you absolutely have to be really gentle with this pencil. You can't press on it. Then I'm going to take a little bit of the pink and purple, pinky purple, and just sort of splotch it around. And then also of this sort of neon yellow. And we're going to use that iridescent stuff. Ooh, how about that? Ha. And see how that works. Or maybe not. Or maybe so. Oh, see? Now that makes nice little iridescent wings. Now his little head can be slightly yellow. But his little eyes are going to be completely, or all except for a little teeny weeny dot, are going to be completely gray. And then maybe some, oh look, there's a dark gray right there. So we can maybe move in some of this around the edges. Just give it a little more dimensionality. No stingers on these bees, because in my world, bees don't have any stingers. Okay. Maybe bring it. Sorry, I've gone all quiet on you, haven't I? Like, okay. Well, that'll work now. Oh, now let's try a little bit of that iridescent stuff. I don't know exactly how I want to apply it. In this particular case, Deb, do you have a recommendation? or have you gone to sleep? Your old Christmas were great. The ones about a couple of years ago, not. The one from a couple of years ago, my understanding is that they were making them in Mexico and that they weren't as good quality. Hi, Donna. How are you? And lovely to see you. And okay, so we're going to try this iridescent medium, even though it's technically not really designed, I don't think, for this particular purpose. I think you're really supposed to mix it with paint. But let's see what we can do. I have a whole lot of brushes, and I have a little water here on my desk. So let's maybe use a palette like this, and maybe we'll put a little tiny bit. Oops, I guess I need to shake it some more. Okay. So we'll put a tiny bit of that out. We probably can't. It's probably way more than we need. I'll add a little water. Oh, look at that. See, now that is that's like mica powder. That's basically all that is that same stuff that that I've been using to make my it's like Winkastella in a in liquid form. Oh yeah, I can highly recommend this. Talk about a satisfying product. Ooh. Okay. I love it. That just made me smile. That really made me smile. Look at this, guys. Let's see if I can get it to. There we go. How about that? Now that Nika, okay, and thank you so much for coming, Caroline, and I'm glad you were here. And yeah, that is really cool. So that is the Winsor and Newton iridescent medium, and once again, it basically strikes me as pearl powder mixed with something, or mica powder of some kind mixed with something, and which is what I've been making my watercolors out of. That's what I did all of these. And if you remember the picture that I did, what was it, a couple of weeks ago, where I used it was a 3-parter simple coloring, and I used this one of these golds. I don't remember which one now. Oh, this one, the super smooth one, and I used that in the book, and it's so shiny. That is mica powder, and I bet you that is exactly what that is. And I think it's the same stuff that they put in the Winkastella as well. So how cool is that? I love it. And with the with the sort of, I mean, that's just sort of my interpretation of what translucent wings would look like with the purple and the yellow and the blue. And this, of course, the gray. You need to bump the gray in my little. Because they have a hint of yellow, but they're primarily, there we go, sort of dull that back down again. So that looks pretty cool. I'm really pleased with that. All right, so you basically now I've shown you all of, just really going to continue on. All I did with the honeycomb is leave a light spot. I used pretty much the same colors that I used over here, which are the ochre, or not the ochre, the where is it? Let me get it out. I used the burnt, the burnt ochre, the yellow ochre, the canary yellow. That is the other. Oh, they're all in here. This one is the gold. I didn't use the goldenrod. I used the yellow ochre. Is that this one? Yes, I used the yellow ochre, the burnt ochre, and I did not use the goldenrod. So I must have used the eggshell. That's the sand. Actually, the sand would probably work, wouldn't it? For the honey. Let's assume that I used all four of those. And I might even have used this. Lord only knows when I'm grabbing pencils, I just sort of go, oh, well, let's blend a little of that in and that in and that in until I finally get what I want. So that, I believe, is how I did that. Do I have an Etsy wish list? I don't. I was going to set one up, but the bottom line is there is so much stuff on Etsy that it would look like really would look like a warehouse. So I don't have one. And everybody, in about 6 minutes now, it's going to be Sean's turn to entertain you, hopefully, and show you a new artist, or color along with one of his own drawings. And you all probably read, I unfortunately missed it when I asked him what he was going to color today. So I guess it'll have to be a mystery. But if you would like to go over there, please just click on the three dots out at the end of Sean's name, Color with Sean, and it'll say go to channel, and you can go to his channel without leaving this and subscribe, and the minute he goes live, you'll get a notice. Be sure to ask for notices. And you're buffing too? Can you all, okay, so you obviously, you can't hear me or see me. Do. Is everybody buffering? And I'm okay, so it's fine there. And so I do want to say thank you all, everybody, for your support today. It meant a lot to me to not sort of be alone with the idea that my friend is so sick, and that there's nothing I can do to help her, not from here. But thank you all for wishing her well, and please do keep her in your thoughts and prayers if you can. And hopefully this crisis too will pass. We've been through a few in our lives, and this one, is no different. It will pass, but I know that personally I would find it very difficult to be in a world without her. So anyway, thank you so much for spending some time with me today. And I hope that if you have any questions at all or comments, that you will go ahead and leave them down below. Until we meet again, please color something pretty. Bye, everybody, and we'll see you at Sean's.